guys, it's Ryan with AIinsidertips.com, and in this video, I'm going to be recapping some of the most important stories from this past week in the world of AI. Now, before diving into the news this week, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel at AI Insider Tips, I would truly appreciate that, as I spend hours putting together these videos for you guys, trying to keep you informed in the overwhelming world of artificial intelligence. Now, diving into the first story from this past week, I got an email from OpenAI, and if you've built a custom GPT, you probably got an email just like this one, where basically they said that they've now shared the GPT store to the public, where if you remember previously, you had to be a member of ChatGPT Plus in order to access custom GPTs in the GPT store. But now this is open to the public for free. You don't have to have a paid account to access custom GPTs. So a pretty big update there in my opinion. Now, I am on a paid plan here. I could get a free plan of ChatGPT. I'm just on the paid one right now. But if you are on the free plan, let me know if you have access to the custom GPT store right now. So you'll see here on the top left of my custom GPTs that I've created for different content creation purposes. Some of my favorites quickly here are Photorealistic GPT, that creates realistic images. Humanizer Pro, I believe it's called AI Humanizer now. This is another one of my favorite custom GPTs. And I do have a whole video that I made on some of the best custom GPTs, and this was about a month ago, so it's not totally outdated yet. So I'll leave a link to this in the description below, and you guys can check out some of my favorite custom GPTs. But regardless, guys, again, big update from OpenAI, and be sure to enjoy some of these custom GPTs. So staying on the topic of OpenAI, a few more pieces of news came out from them this week. Today, May 30th, they introduced what's called ChatGPT Edu. So here OpenAI says, an affordable offering for universities to responsibly bring AI to campus. Now, we all know the disruption that AI and ChatGPT have already brought to higher ed and just education as a whole. But it looks like they're now creating a specific offering for higher ed. It says, built for universities to responsibly deploy AI to students, faculty, researchers, and campus operations. Now, one thing I did was I tried to look for how much this is going to cost, as obviously this is going to be more expensive than just a traditional free or a plus plan. But if you go up to products, click pricing, here we have free, plus, team, and enterprise, and there's nothing with EDU yet. Obviously, this came out today. It's May 30th. But if I had to guess, it would be somewhere along the lines of enterprise. A lot of these big colleges have a lot of money, and OpenAI has to know that. So why not try to go after it, right? I'm assuming it's not going to be cheap, but it is a good idea, as the higher ed industry has been disrupted by AI. Why not make a product to profit off of this, right? So here it has all the details about what this ChatGPT Edu is going to look like. It's, talking about the new model GPT-4o and how that's going to be leveraged. There's some quotes here. There's some different examples of professors and MBA students and undergraduates using OpenAI and ChatGPT for the purposes of higher ed. But you guys can read this, and I'll leave this in the description below, along with everything else that I mentioned in this video. So staying on the topic of OpenAI, now this is another piece of news that it's more partnerships. So they've already been establishing these partnerships with big media companies. So here's one in particular recently on May 29th with The Atlantic. The Atlantic, obviously a big publication. I believe they cover financial news, all sorts of other news related content. But this is yet another partnership with a huge media company. They had one with The Atlantic, and then the other day too, they also partnered with Vox Media, another big media company. Historically, they've partnered with Dotdash Meredith, they partnered with Reddit, they partnered with the Financial Times. I believe they partnered with the New York Times after those ongoing lawsuits. And here's another one, they partnered with News Corp to enhance ChatGPT with premium journalism. So I would expect this to keep going, guys, as OpenAI is trying to formulate this new search engine to compete with Google. That is my hunch here, is that they're forming these partnerships so they can, legally, quote unquote, scrape the data from these huge media sites. So that way they can avoid all these lawsuits, because they know these big companies have deeper pockets than smaller creators like myself or just other smaller bloggers, for instance, where they're just going to scrape our data regardless. And they know we don't have the pockets to defend ourselves in that situation. So it really makes sense why they are partnering with these huge media companies. I actually had a tweet about this. I'm not sure what my computer just did there, but I had a tweet about this, and right here it said, small publishers are SOL for OpenAI's new search engine coming soon. They will just scrape your data without compensation. These partnerships are to avoid more lawsuits since these big media companies have deeper pockets. Those are my thoughts on the whole thing anyways. So moving on to another topic from this week, this one actually comes from my favorite AI writing tool called SEOWriting AI. I am a premium member. I'm an affiliate partner. I have a link below if you want to check this out for more details with a discount. But anyways, this tool has continued to impress me. They had quite a few updates here in April and May. They added GPT 4.0. They added Claude 3. They added some humanizing feature here, some WordPress plugin updates, some other things here earlier on. But I got an email today on May 30th about deep web access and source visibility. Now, when I first saw this, I'm like, wow, that's just like Perplexity AI. Those of you who are in the world of AI, you probably know what Perplexity is. I actually have a tab open as I'm going to talk about this in the next story. But right here, they have what's now called deep web access. So before, you could already scrape the web to help, formulate better content based on existing sources. But now they've actually went deeper here. Deeper in deep web access is included in all subscription plans. This means you can write amazing articles with the most current and relevant information, ensuring your content is always fresh and valuable to your readers. So now it's just adding another element to search depth and what they can do in their analysis of current articles or what's currently ranking for given keywords. And here's kind of an iteration here. It says you can see which sources were used to generate your article. You can review these sources, hide them, or publish to WordPress. So it has citations and source links. And you can read all this stuff too. I'll leave a link to this in the description below for their update log. But honestly, guys, this is just a really great tool. I need to make an updated video on this writing tool, which is SEOWriting AI. If you haven't checked this out, I would just highly recommend giving this a test, if not doing a trial, some sort of free plan, one of their lower dollar tiers. Just a really, really cool AI writing tool that really helps efficiency and has quality outputs. So the next piece of AI news this week comes from Perplexity AI. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Perplexity AI, this is becoming a popular AI search engine. Now, there's a lot you can do with this, and I won't get into the weeds of Perplexity, but the update here is what's called Perplexity Pages. And I don't actually have access to this, which is why I'm on Perplexity's website. But Perplexity Pages, what you can do, that's hard to say, Perplexity Pages. Perplexity Pages. Here they have an example of what this looks like. Basically, it looks like another AI content writer based on what the sources are currently available that Perplexity is scraping from its database. So here's an example. It looks like you can basically now write articles inside Perplexity AI. It says, Perplexity Pages is the easiest way to create comprehensive, visually appealing content on any topic. As your personal content assistant, it helps you create, organize, share information seamlessly, type in any topic and receive a draft, turning what needs hours of work into just a few minutes. So this is really cool, and it can also generate images now too, so photographs, illustrations, diagrams. I'm not sure if it had the ability to generate images before this update, so that might be another addition here to Perplexity AI. But just something worth looking into. And if you go to perplexity.ai, let me know in the comments if you guys have access to this new Perplexity Pages feature. I do not. I'm on the free plan. I don't have a paid plan. And maybe that's just it too. But they also announced this here on their social media account. So it says a simple way to turn your research into visually appealing articles. So they have a little video here, and you can just learn more on this Twitter thread. They go through it. I'll leave links to all of these in the description below. But that is an important piece of news, in my opinion, is this Perplexity Pages. So another important piece of AI news this week that I found out about is that Anthropic is hiring OpenAI's safety lead to head up their new team. Now, if this is the first time you've ever heard of Anthropic, this is the company behind Claude. Claude is a popular large language model. I'm a member of their paid plan. Amazon is their big investor in Claude. Claude is probably the second best large language model right now, in my opinion, behind ChatGPT, of course. But the guy's name here is Jan Leake. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. He said earlier this month resigned from OpenAI before publicly criticizing the company's approach to AI safety. He joined rival Anthropic to lead a new super alignment team. And so here's his tweet right here. It says, I'm excited to join Anthropic to continue the super alignment mission. I did not mean to click that, but we'll just read it from here now. My new team will work on scalable oversight, weak to strong generalization, and automated alignment research. If you're interested in joining, my DMs are open. So not really sure what that all means right off the top of my head here. But the important part of this news here is that OpenAI has, I feel like, had a lot of turmoil lately. You know, we had the lawsuit with that musician, with the AI voice thing. I remember that. And now people are leaving. They just had someone else leave and go to Anthropic, I believe, recently. I can't remember what his name was. But it seems like OpenAI has just had all sorts of issues lately ever since the release of their new model and their spring update. It only seems to be negative news coming out from them lately. So this is a pretty big deal in my opinion. So who knows what this could mean for Anthropic or Claude and how this kind of impacts their rivalry with ChatGPT. So on the same topic of Claude, I saw this blog post today on May 30th from Anthropic's website where it says Claude can now use tools. So just another update from Claude, basically where it says now the entire Claude 3 model family on the Anthropic Messages API, Amazon Bedrock, Google's Cloud Vertex, Claude can perform tasks, manipulate data, and provide more dynamic and accurate responses. Now, this is pretty in the weeds in my opinion, but regardless, it is another enhancement, another update from Claude. And then if you pair it with the news here of them getting a big figure from OpenAI, it really appears Claude is making some serious moves here. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if more people from OpenAI or other big tech companies maybe join Claude's mission, as that appears to be good of what they're doing behind the scenes. But watch out for Claude. I've always been a big fan of Claude ever since their Claude 3 update. I like Claude 3 Opus. It's one of my favorite language models. So I'm super excited to see what happens with Claude and where they go from here. So just some more news here to conclude this video. Elon Musk's X, or Grok is his large language model, but it says X, a Series B funding round. XAI is pleased to announce our Series B funding round of $6 billion. So again, this is Elon Musk's company, XAI. They just got another $6 billion in funding. So here it says our Series B funding round of $6 billion with participation from key investors. And then it lists some of the investors here. Then it talks about some of the significant strides that XAI has made with Grok 1.5 model. Honestly, guys, I'm not a big fan of Grok. The more I started using Grok and testing it against ChatGPT, against Claude, against even Google Gemini or Mistral, or some of these other language models that exist, for $16 a month, you can't tell me that Grok is a better large language model than these tools that are available for free, like GPT 4o, even Claude 3 Sonnet, or Google Gemini, whatever 1.5 Ultra or Advanced, whatever that model is called from Gemini. Those are all free models, and there's no way that Grok for $16 a month is better than those. But anyways, guys, I'll stop rambling here. But anyways, just a big update as who knows where this money's going to go, and maybe Grok will beat the herd in terms of large language models and efficiency. Never doubt Elon Musk. I mean, you never know what he's got up his sleeve, and maybe Grok can turn into the best large language model in a year from now. Who knows? So just don't forget about XAI, Grok, or Elon Musk. He is still in the AI race. The last piece of news I want to bring to you in this video is one I saw on Twitter from the Denver Post. It says Colorado's new Deepfake Law requires campaign ads to disclose AI-generated content. Sponsors sought to balance First Amendment rights with transparency. And I've said this on several podcasts and other, pieces of content that I've posted in the past on this channel. One of my biggest concerns for the upcoming presidential election in the United States for 2024 is deepfakes. There have been instances with deepfakes in the past, but I expect this to get a lot more serious now. There's a lot more on the line with deepfakes and how easy these deepfakes can be spread virally on social media. So really interesting that Colorado appears to be kind of leading the charge here with a deepfake law. Now, I'm not really sure how this is going to be enforced. Because let's just make this clear, it's very hard to detect deepfakes. Maybe 2 years ago it wasn't. I mean, it still was to some extent for the average person, but this technology just keeps getting better and better. So here it says the law passed as House Bill 1147 likens deepfakes or the use of AI create false depictions of people saying or doing things to forcing the subject to act under duress. It warns that candidates' reputations can be irreparably tainted by fabricated messages and requires clear and conspicuous disclosures when they're used to portray candidates within 60 days of a primary election or 90 days of a general election. So I guess if it's within 61 days of a primary election or 91 days of a general election, then it's okay, based on this law from what I'm reading. So But anyways, guys, just be aware of deepfakes, especially with the election cycle coming up. Always think critically. If something just looks a little off, just think critically and be like, is that fake? Is it real? Would he say that? Would she say that? And then double check your sources, of course, as well. But I just thought this was really interesting that I had to include is deepfakes. Colorado passing a new deepfake law. So again, this is Ryan with AI Insider Tips. I truly appreciate you if you've made it this far in the video. That's just recapping some of the biggest stories, in my opinion, from this week in the world of AI. If I missed anything, please let me know in the comments below. If you liked this video, if it made you think, it made you laugh, it made you learn something new about AI, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't learn anything or you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down. And I hope you all have a great day. And guys, I'm trying my best to keep you informed on the overwhelming world of artificial intelligence.